Greeting! Welcome to Damage Does D&D. This is our episode 24 of our current campaign, Helloran Rising. So, the last we were here, disguising Celeste with a combination of hair colouring and Melissa's spare coat and the bits and pieces that Miette picked up in town. You make her into a rough approximation of Melissa to try and fool people from afar. You then debate about going to Clydewater directly or going further south to hide or seek advice from Vale, possibly. You decide eventually to go south and seek Vale in the Dead Forest, searching first in the town of Larkham for any signs of her or anybody that would have any knowledge of ports along the river that far south, maybe a crossing to Redport to seek passage, avoiding Dar to confront Lork. Yorick informs Trellador all about his axe, curse and all. This doesn't seem to bother Trellador, but apparently nobody else can see the purple, which is worrying. You start to think that Celeste appearing and being chased by Lork is linked somehow with the reappearance of the fog and the other strange goings on, temples rising and appearing, etc. You start to leave the cave, and Snow watches you as you all file out. He also sees two figures with that familiar stiff-legged walk coming out of the city, starting towards the cave. Florian gets the party headed in the right direction, and things are going well. You start to worry, however, that Snow has not been seen for a while. Trellador advises that you should probably look behind Melissa. Melissa looks around, can't see him. Celeste leaves the word Snow in Elven under a bush as a sign for Snow to follow on. Snow himself, meanwhile, sees a half-elf break cover to stop those two figures, shooing them back to the city. Turning, waving at Snow, she also heads back to the city. Snow catches up to you and appears in front of Melissa, continuing the game of surprise tabaxi. He then informs you what he saw. With Trellador getting concerned you're being followed, and Miette worrying that the signs she's finding are older than they should be, you eventually catch sight of someone following you. You turn to confront him and find out he's literally just a delivery boy, and he gives a box to Trellador and runs off as soon as he can, as Gus fires a crossbow at him. Because Gus. Miette leads you to another spiral camp. You enter, get set up, utilising the hidden stores that Miette shows you. Trellador inspects and opens his box. This contains a wooden bracelet that belonged to his father, and a note from his sister saying, "Please come back, I've moved out." When Celeste quizzes him about it, he makes some bad jokes and almost instantly regrets everything he says, but the following conversation reveals he does maybe care a little about some of you. Probably, possibly, maybe, who knows. Celeste approaches Miette about learning the symbols that she traces. Miette advises she's welcome to do so, but offers no teaching as I do not know magic. Miette explains that symbols are her inheritance and it's difficult to see someone else trying to interact with them. Celeste tries to replicate these, but is unable to do so accurately. Snow points out to Miette that he seems to be the only one not being followed, to which she retorts that you know of. Florian and Gus take first watch. Florian swears he hears someone walking far down the track in the direction you came from. Gus, however, hears nothing and believes Florian may be hearing things. Trellador and Celeste take the watch over, along with Yorick and Snow. Investigating the trail, Celeste notices while there are some footprints on the path, there are no footprints coming into camp. Florian has yet another dream, this in which Dakota warns him to stop her, and he awakes in pain as he is covered in blood as the icon being cut into his flesh seems to be finished. Trying to detect what is doing this to Florian, Celeste finds that someone has cast a spell on him. Yorick tries as well, and the big fella Reorx advises that it's probably not the best idea to get involved with this devil that is starting to possess Florian. Florian and Dakota should not be brought together. Melissa is awoken and works out that this is probably being done by minions, like Vale used to be, meaning that this could be Vale's old boss orchestrating this via Dakota. With this news, you decide to continue south, possibly, when everyone awakens in the morning. And that's where we'll pick it up. You can all have a long rest. You're awake. It is morning. What would you like to do?
That was a good sleep. So, what are we doing today then?
You'll notice that Florian hasn't made any effort to hide the fact of the blood which is on his shirt. Whoever looks over at the crowd, you will see him just sat there eating, quite worn.
Turn to Yorick and say, do you think he's doing self-flagellation?
Well, I think that's a bit personal.
Well, I mean, maybe he does it in his dreams without knowing, because he keeps waking up covered in blood, doesn't he? No one else touches him, so he must be doing it himself. Maybe it's part of his religion or something.
I wish it was, mate, but no, it's a lot more serious than that.
Oh, right, okay. Maybe I
the-
won't mention it then.
The big man's told me that we should not really be involved.
Oh, all right. I'll not talk to him then.
I don't know.
Sorry, I just got the self-flagellation, what James just said in my head, and started laughing again.
That's perfectly fine.
How are you feeling this morning, Florian?
Well, thank you for asking. A little bit worn and weary, and somewhat out of sorts from the information that you and Garrick found out last night. Suppose this is where another one of us has to make a decision. Where we go and what to do.
May I just check your wounds, make sure everything's okay? I don't want anything to become infected.
Certainly, I'll give you a hand with that as well. And I'm proficient in medicine, so I will help her do whatever she needs to do.
A medicine check with advantage.
Guidance. $27.
27. Yeah, you managed to sort of peel the bandages off. I mean, it hurts, but you managed to get the dried blood cleaned up. And I mean, the wounds themselves look free from infection. They look fairly clean, but it is quite distressing to look at. It is basically his entire chest that is covered in this thing. I'll say you can manage to wrap it back again, up again.
Just try and keep as clean and dry as you possibly can. That will help with the healing.
Certainly try.
These wounds are magical in nature, so unfortunately I think they're always going to leave some kind of scar.
Yeah, with a 27 you would judge that they are deep enough that they are going to leave a significant scarring.
And I'll look around to anybody who wasn't up or aware of it last night when it happened.
So
Hello.
Gus and Biet.
I had a bit of a revelation here, people. I had another dream that my sister was involved with last night again. Woke up with this on my chest. Seems like whatever was doing the spell, what we found out last time, has completed this part of it. But we also found out that, well, Cello doesn't like secrets, and I can understand why. I am potentially being slowly possessed.
We ain't too certain as to exactly who and exactly where they are, but it's definitely devilish magic.
And the only thing we know of at the minute is devilish kind of person indeed that we might find in these dead forests. Could either give us the answers or be the start of my end, but either way we gotta find out.
It sounds like you're committed to continuing south then.
What we found out last night is that someone who's doing this is pretty much is pretty much away, far away most of the time when a spell like this happens. And they would have to have my sister. Garrick found out that me and my sister should not meet, which, a bit like Celeste, go to the family and try and save them and we all die in the same process, or stay away, get some information, and then build your decisions on that. And I think that's the best we can do at the minute. It would be quite hypocritical if I went straight to my sister after saying to Celeste to not go to her family.
I was thinking last night after we attended to you, Florian, that if we head to that town right on the border of the forest, we can speak with them there, see if they've seen Vale and Dunks.
Yeah, it's a little place called Lockham. It's okay there. We can find a few people, so it shouldn't be too bad.
But of course, the standard rules applied. Y'all think this is too dangerous for you, then don't blame me for turning your back, but I like to hope we're somewhat friends, at least.
I think we're all in this together now. I don't think I'm speaking out of turn for anybody.
My only concern is that I've been told directly by God that I shouldn't be involved, and that makes me a bit nervous. But I really want to help.
I'd like to say I completely understand, but for me, deities ain't talking to people that much these days. But,
Yes. Sorry, Florian, carry on.
That's alright. I know what you mean, Yarick. It's and I completely understand if you don't want to use any of your magics to stop or help whatever's going to happen, unless it is changed by your Reox, as Snow just said.
Well, for me, I'm not sure what kind of person I would be if I didn't help out the people who've been helping me. And I'd like to think that we're friends now. All of us. And she'll even look at Trellador and smile.
I'll smile back.
Yorick, the Reox may have told you that perhaps you shouldn't be involved, but maybe the outcome of not getting involved is worse than perhaps helping.
Oh, I know.
But we will understand if you wish to take a step back.
Well, I'll tell you what I think. I think that if Reorg said we can't get involved, or we shouldn't get involved, then maybe we don't have to actively get involved. But if we happen to be walking along the same path as you and something happens, then obviously we'll have to protect ourselves and our friends, wouldn't we? But we're not actively getting involved. We just happened to be in the same place at the same time.
You know what, Gus? That makes an awful lot of sense.
I just love your logic.
Not many people say that to me, but thank you.
You're most welcome.
Well, if that's certainly the case and everyone's fed, watered, and ready to go, should we head to Larkham?
Sounds like a mighty fine plan. Though I do urge caution that this forest we're going to be going into potentially is mighty dangerous, so
So
might be
monsters.
wise to. Oh, there's more than monsters. Going to be more than monsters in
brilliant.
there.
Well, if there's monsters, we've got no choice but to go that way and slay them.
Yep, absolutely. Sorry,
Yeah, I
Carl.
suppose if you put it that way.
Melissa, you are saying this place is dangerous. Have you not been paying attention to the current company?
I'm aware, but I'm also aware that there's certain creatures out there that really none of us should be tangling with.
I think it's
This-
safe to say at this point we're all bringing trouble with us anyway.
That's quite true.
I would like to say that I am not at the moment. Thank you.
No, you brought up the last temple, so that has you covered for quite a while.
Eh, I just
Before-
keep finding
Sorry.
these things.
I think the dagger marks in my abdomen speak for themselves.
Before we leave,
Sorry?
It was not you.
I'd just like to use a bit of water, and I'll take my white vest top off and give it a bit of a scrub and a wash, as not to walk into this this other town covered in blood and cause more alarm than is needed.
Okay, very well. I'll say you managed to get it. Well, it's not squeaky clean, but it's more of a pink than a blood spattered red.
You know, I think pink might just be your color, Florian. It suits you so well.
Maybe it'll grow on me. I got quite used to the white and red.
Well, let's get us walking.
Okay.
As we're leaving the camp, Miet is going to, what's the word? Metaphorically pull on her big girl pants and call Celeste over to the wall by the exit.
Okay.
If you're going to learn these symbols, you will learn them as get against the wall, follow what I do.
Of course.
And then I'm going to do my usual and instruct Celeste.
Okay.
Every camp we enter and leave, you must do this.
Of course. If I'm going to do this, I want to do it properly.
Okay. What we'll do then is, if you're going to learn to do this as a kitten would, we will do a rather like Jay does with his sliding scales of inventions and stuff. We will we'll get Miet to do a teaching role, so would like you to roll, let's call it a performance check, and Celeste, if you can roll a straight intelligence check and let me know what you get.
Oh no.
Miet hasn't got much experience as a teacher.
Go on then, what'd you get?
9.
9. And a critical failure. Okay. So you, after saying this to her, you show her the symbol and walk on. Celeste, you're like, what did she just do? You have no clue what she just did. Absolutely none. But Miet
Was that the plan all along?
is turning and waiting for you to do the symbol, but you've got literally not a clue. What do you do?
I will attempt to trace the symbol in the way I think she did it.
Okay. With your natural one, you do this in the wrong spot on the wall, and Miette, she's doing it somehow. You're not really sure how. She started from the halfway point, but gone backwards, and then finished somehow above the starting point. It's an absolute, complete and utter mess. So, yeah. You've got a series of 50 points that you're going to have marker 50 down. You can take 1 point off of that 50. When you get to 0, you've learnt the whole thing.
Okay.
I thought you were going to say she's got 50, but now she's got 51.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
No, I'm not that cruel. Well,
It was so bad.
I am, but no, that was just utterly dreadful. But, you know, first time, performance nerves and all that lot. So.
Miette will just pat Celeste gently on the shoulder and kind of go, "We will practice."
Okay. So, who's...
Yes, I've messed up very badly there, I feel.
Okay, so who's leading this trek south?
I think it would be me and Miette again, as I know the way to Larkin.
Okay.
And Miette is obviously of the Wandering Gust, so would know.
Okay, and who's keeping an eye out at the rear? And is Snow doing his normal scout?
Yes.
Okay, so I want perception checks from Snow, Miette, Florian, and who's bringing them up the rear?
I can.
And
Trellador, isn't it?
and Trellador.
He just likes staring at everyone's bottoms.
That's true, yeah. So, those at the front. Miette and
9.
9. Okay, so
Beats
Zed
my 8.
and an 8. Okay, cool. Good. So, you get out of the camp and you're heading, you think, south. Seems to be going fine. Snow, what did you get?
21.
21. Yeah. You circle back around. You don't see any evidence of people following through the night. You don't see tracks that would indicate somebody passed by your camp. And you don't see anybody off to the sides or in front, sort of laying in wait for you. Trellador, what did you get?
9 as well.
9. Everything's tickety-boo. Nobody could possibly be following you.
I feel like, you know, checking that, if it wasn't for Snow's 21, it'd be a case of, right, so how many hours are we travelling before we realise the sun is on the wrong side?
No, you kind of you're veering slightly off course. I will say go on for a couple of hours. You're still heading south by the sun. It's not, but Florian, you're getting a bit concerned. You haven't seen a landmark that you were expecting to see, and then you realise it's because you're following the route that would take you further towards the river rather than to Larkham. So you're still going south, but you can correct that. It's not going to take a huge chunk of your time to do that, though.
I would adjust that as soon as possible then, just so we start heading inland a little bit to Larkin.
Okay. So, you travel on. It's... Actually, somebody roll me a D8, please.
Okay. 5.
5. Okay. So, the skies are fairly clear this morning. It looks as though it might rain at some point later on this afternoon, but at the moment it's fairly clear. There's a sort of low grey cloud off towards where you know the river would be. But you're sort of heading parallel to it, so you think you should be okay at this point. So you walk on for a few more hours. Nothing much. The countryside down here is fairly boring. It's just sort of flat fields with the occasional hedges, copse of trees every now and again. it's pretty boring. There's some dry stone walls about, but it's not great. It's very green because they get a lot of rain down here, but you know. So moving onwards. Is there anything you would like to do, or I could just zip forward to searching for a camp for the night, or unless there's anything you particularly wish to do during the day?
How far away would we be away from Larkham now? I know the last session it was, you said around 2.5 to 3 days.
So you had half a day's travelling yesterday. So you've got another day today, and tomorrow you should get there by nightfall.
Okay.
I would like to try and observe Melissa and the way she walks and try my best to replicate that, so if somebody were watching from a distance it would be harder to tell.
Okay. Give me a perception check.
23.
23, yeah. So you study her for a while. Okay, you think you've got this down. So if you do a performance check, and you could add a D4 because of your high perception check.
Dirty 20.
Nice. So you just sort of watch her as she moves with confidence all the time, and as if, you know, this is where she's supposed to be. This is her path. This is the way she's walking. Therefore, everything is as right as rain. And you start to sort of project that attitude as well. And it seems to be working. You are starting to take her mannerism when she's walking. And even when she turns to talk to someone, you're sort of observing that. You're observing the way she moves her head, or the way she gestures. So yeah, I'll say you're getting pretty good at that over the next few hours.
Are we able to see the river from where we are?
You cannot, no. You went inland from Dar to the cave, and then you've gone down sort of away from the river, but you curved back on it, back towards it for a little while before Florian caught himself and you all gone back again.
Okay.
So yeah, it's probably the furthest you've been from a river for a very long time.
I was just wondering how far away from there we were, whether I could. But it's fine.
No, you're a good couple of miles, maybe more from there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would like to try something before we get to sleep, before we hit a rest. Florian would be very much in thoughts to himself about everything what's going on and trying to figure shit out. And with some of his sort of like training and stuff like that, how I have used my like mind to try and connect with Dakota on certain occasions. I would like to try and use it this time.
Is this while you're walking still, or are you going to wait till you hit a camp?
Sorry, I thought we were.
Oh, it's up to you. That's why I'm asking.
Oh no, I'm definitely at the camp.
Oh,
I thought you would kind of because nobody was.
If nobody else wants to do anything while you're walking, Miette, can I have a perception or investigation check? Your choice to find some symbols for a camp.
Oh, just had a thought.
Yeah.
Yorick, what about your little pet friend you were going to try and summon?
Yeah. I'd have to wait till we stop tonight before I do that.
Oh, right, okay.
That was a 10, my highest roll so far this evening.
It's going well. You know there's a camp around here somewhere. You're absolutely convinced of it. But
I've been thrown off by our earlier wrong directions, which was totally not my fault.
No,
Would I have an inkling of being travelled?
I mean, yeah.
No,
you know that there's a place where you've camped before. It's not a tabaxi wandering gusts. camp, but it's a camp.
No would sidle up to Miette and sort of just give her a nudge and then sign to her in Thieves' Cant. What are we looking for? Maybe I can help.
Giving away all the secrets.
Yep, Miette is allowed to have no more secrets.
It's not that you can't find them; they're not there.
I'll just sign back to Snow. We're not close enough yet.
He'd incline his head and sort of like just move off to the side, back out to where he normally sits.
So, Florian, with Miette showing no signs of directing you to a camp, you know that there's a camp hereabouts that you can get to. It's hidden by a copse of trees. Which,
If your camp isn't here just yet, we need to stop. There is a place up here which isn't obviously not tabaxi, but
If that is all we can find, I can still inscribe my symbols to it.
I'll lead the group there then.
okay, so you lead them there, and it's not well appointed like the tabaxi camps that you're used to. It's sort of a clearing in a small wood with some long logs that have been laid down on their sides, so you can use them for sitting around a campfire. If you light a fire, obviously the smoke may be seen from the surrounding fields, but there's no road as such. What would you like to do? I mean, it's getting dark, so you can either stop here or you can walk through the night. It's up to you.
Well, my little legs are tired, so let's get a fire on and get some food.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will summon Celeste and begin inscribing.
Okay. So, another learning opportunity. So, a performance check from Miette.
I just want to note that I have been using different dice for every roll, and they're all giving me shit tonight.
Need to be loyal to one.
Including that one.
Oh dear. And an intelligence check for Celeste.
16.
16. And the performance check.
The performance check was 7.
7. Okay. So Miette seems to be, I don't know, cross about something. She's going really quick. You're clever enough to work out the symbols are the same as your pendant, but it's the way she does it. She's just not going slow enough for you to recognise.
I'm sorry, Miette. It's still a little bit too fast for me to follow. Would you mind slowing it down a little?
Is there any possibility I can try another dice roll?
I mean, you can with Celeste saying that she's just not getting it at all. That's up to you whether you want to try again or you want to just go, keep up.
No, Miette has enough cop on to know that, she needs to be a good teacher in this. The dice, however, do not agree.
What did you get this time?
6.
6.
We'll go even faster.
Yeah. So, as you think about how to slow down, and you have to think about doing the symbol, did you start, wait, hang on. And as you try, when you try and think about how to do something you've done every single day of your life, you're like, and no, it's gone. You can't slow it down enough to show Celeste how to do it, because when you do that, you have to think about it and you lose control of what you're doing.
I'm so sorry now.
Celeste, you have, again, no idea what Miette is doing. She seems to have, when you've asked her to redo it, she just stops. And she looks utterly broken. She's like,
Error
Well,
404.
she's like,
We'll try again another night. You've been having to keep a lookout and everything today. I'm sure you're stressed and tired.
From somewhere in the beyond, Grandmama Asterope is just shaking her head in disappointment.
indeed. She is. Okay, so rest of you, anything else you want to do before we get to Florian's whatever it is he wishes to do?
Yar.
Yarp?
What I want to do is when I'm sitting with Yorick around the fire, I'm going to call Bridris
Okay.
and say, Yorick, look here. You want to make friends with Bridris now, right? So here he is.
Bridris appears, and you hear in your mind, Gus, "Sup?"
Hello, Bridris. Right, I've got a bit of news for you. You know how you like Yorick and Yorick wasn't sure because he was a bit scared of you? Well, he's
tasty.
wants to be your friend now.
I can eat him.
No, be
Oh.
your friend, not your food.
Friends.
So,
No, not with it.
like, like you and me are friends, like we're
You're my
family.
mum.
All right, well, he's your uncle then,
What?
because he's my family as well.
Hey, I'm confused.
Well, like, oh, I don't know how to explain it, but it's like,
Oh wait, hang on. Is it like when your mum's your mum, but then she has to go, and then your other mum comes and looks after you?
yeah, that's it. So he's
So-
like your,
The angry one's my other mum.
yeah, but he's not going to be angry anymore because he's decided he wants to like you.
Okay. Sort of looks across it. And looks across at Yorick. So not eating.
Not eating, no.
Okay, what about the rest of them?
No, they're all your other mums as well.
What?
Yeah. Can't eat them. We've got to look after them.
Bridris looks very confused. Sort of hindquarters hit the ground. A sort of gout of flame comes out. And
See, you're very special. You've got loads of mums to look after you.
and she sort of looks around. What, even that one? Points
Who's he
at
pointing?
Snow.
Oh yeah. He's a friend.
Right. You said that word again. Not sure what that means.
A friend is someone who you like, who you look after and help along.
And don't eat.
And don't eat. Yes, that's very important. You don't eat them.
Don't eat. Don't eat.
But if someone else tries to hurt them, then
Then I can eat them.
then you can eat the other person, the one that's trying to hurt them.
Right. Okay.
All right. So it's just as I just thought I'd bring you down so you can have a chat with Yorick and well, I don't suppose you can have a chat with him because he doesn't speak your language, but at least you can sort of make friends.
Yeah, so I'm a little bit confused still. So if other mum is fighting with furry mum, I can eat furry mum.
Oh, well, you see, it's
Or do I eat other mum?
No, see, you don't eat any of the mums. It's other people that are not your mums that hurt them. Like
Oh,
remember,
like when you had me just bite people.
yeah.
And she looks at Yorick and goes and winks at you.
So it's what you've got to do is look after all your mums and not eat any of them. But if somebody else who's not a mum tries to hurt them, then you can eat as much as you like.
Gotcha.
All right.
Sort of nods.
I can't wait for that to backfire gloriously.
That's going too terribly, I know.
She sort of tentatively walks across to Yorick.
And I'll say, Yorick, you're a mum now apparently, so you can be friendly.
And she stands, her head is sort of level with the bottom of your chin. So she sort of looks up slightly at you and gets really close to your face, Yorick.
Trust exercise.
She just stares at you for a bit. And then
I
turns to
won't move.
Gus and goes, naughty.
Naughty.
Fine.
But what you could do is lick him and give him a fright.
She licks you. Yorick. And it's a long, rasping lick all the way across your face, up.
I just
to
want
the
to
top
see
of your
what
head.
Yorick does.
And then she goes, you hear, "Dah, dah, very, dah."
He's just saying hello.
And your beard has just sort of been plastered across your face with Drake spit. It's unpleasant.
She's just said hello, Yorick.
Right.
And she sort of backs away from you a little bit and sort of bangs her ass down on the floor again. A bit like a big dog, you know, a big dog's going poof.
Yeah. Come over here then, you can have a cuddle.
Okay.
I think I might just try and find my own little friend, actually.
That'll be cool.
Bridges is a little scary.
Beatrice is very scary. She's quite big.
I should just be lying there now with her head on my lap, getting chin scritches. No?
No, not what I rolled. No, she's actually climbed into your lap. She's now sitting on you.
Oh, right, fair
Which
enough.
is quite painful because she's very large.
Is this the way, like, Great Danes try and climb into your lap because in their heads they're small dogs?
Yep, still a puppy.
Yeah, I might be wincing a bit, but I wouldn't.
Yeah, Gus has disappeared under Bridges. You're not sure if he's been pushed into the ground or not, but you certainly can't see most of him.
No, would do that sort of like cat thing and basically bend almost in half and just be like,
Looking at things from different angles is very important.
yeah. And then you bend to the other side and do the other side and be like,
Bridges just turns her head as Snow does.
and just waves.
I think you're enjoying playing Bridges a little bit too much.
Maybe. So, anything anybody else wishes to do?
Is there a large tree at the back of the clearing that I could...
There are quite a few sort of in this sort of, it's not exactly a circle, but it's a clearing of sorts. But yeah, the trees are quite tall.
Yeah, I would find a relatively tall one with a good view of the camp and specifically the lead up to the camp, and then just climb up into it.
Okay. You don't even need to roll acrobatics for this. They're really easy to climb these trees. So, make a perception check while you're up there. Anybody else?
Yeah, if we've settled down for a bit in the evening, I am gonna, once I've got over the whole Bridges interaction, I'm gonna spend an hour casting Find Familiar.
Okie dokie. Right. So while that is getting on, what's your perception check there, Snow?
22.
22. Yeah, you look back along the way you've come. You can't see anybody making their way. I mean, you suspect it would be very easy to see someone that's following you because there's lots of open fields, there's very little cover. The same goes for if you wish to hide somewhere, it's going to be tricky. So this is the only spot for miles where there's any cover at all.
Cool.
So, Florian, you wish to do something?
Yeah, it'd probably fit in well with what Yorick's doing, because I'm gonna do it for a bit before we rest or whatever we do. But so yeah, like similar to how I try and use like clean my mind and try and make that connection with Dakota. I pretty much want to do the opposite and clear my mind and get that like calm, relax before I go into like a fight sequence
So
and
a
stuff like that.
meditative state. Okay.
Yeah, and the only way I can describe this is that I don't want to make a connection with whatever is trying to possess me. I
Right.
don't want to sever it because I know that the magic being used is too powerful from talks from the previous night with Celeste and Yorick. Basically want to try and do it so that if anything happens tonight I can get a good night's sleep, and basically I'm just trying to cause interference, a bit of sort of like white noise, so I
Okay.
can just
Interesting.
calm and just like, oh, okay, if possible.
All right. I will say, due to your monk training, you can try and put yourself in a state of meditation, which just fill your head with white noise so that nothing will interrupt you unless it's physically somebody interrupts you. If that's what you're wanting.
Yeah, basically, it's just so that I can still sleep, but
Yeah.
the last thought is like basically white noise going through my head.
Sure.
So
Then make me give me a performance check. There's a lot of performance checks going on tonight.
what dice?
One that rolls well.
That one certainly didn't. 8.
8. Perfect. Perfect. I'll let you
And
know
the
how that
excellent
goes on
performance
then.
checks continue.
Indeed they do. So,
World shittiest glee club.
Yorick, your hour passes. Find familiar. What kind of familiar are you going for? Are we talking bearded dragon? What are we talking?
Yeah, well, I wanted to get something as dragonish as possible. I mean, I've got a list of the options here.
Okay.
Either it's a lizard that can't fly, or we sort of reskin something that can fly.
Choose
Not sure what.
it's a CR half or something, isn't it? I can't remember.
I think it just gives a list.
Okay, let's have a look. See spell. I mean, it's up to you. You can choose whatever you wish. If you want it to be a scaled version of Bridris, who can't fly, then just go with the lizard. Then we'll say that it looks exactly like that, exactly like Bridris, or you can have it look like something else.
We'll go with Bridris. We'll go with a mini Bridris, just to see if that helps relations at all.
Sure. Okay, I'll say that you spend your hour, you ritually summon this Bridris, which appears in front of you. Bridris is instantly intrigued. She gets off Gus. Gus, your legs are completely asleep. And you hear in your mind, threat? Food?
No. Friend of friend.
Oh,
It's nice to have so many friends.
okay. So she walks over and sniffs at this little version of Bridris. Huh. And you can see the two of them just sort of sniff each other for a bit. and then obviously decide that neither one of them is a threat to the other. And they both turn around and bite Yorick on the knees. Not hard, just both of them at what the pair of them at the same time just turn around and go and just sort of close their mouth on your knees as you're sat there. And then look at you and release and walk back and look at each other and then go their separate ways. And you hear Gus, you hear in your head
You hear me going as well.
and your little lizard looks absolutely chuffed to bits.
I'll like stick a hand and sort of invite him to run up and sit on my shoulder.
Which it does. And you can swear it's giggling. But yeah, you now have a familiar Bridges. You can call
Great.
it whatever you wish.
I need to find a name for her.
Okay, so
I think Gus.
Gus?
Sorry? You spoke too fast then, I didn't get that.
He said I need to find a name for her. Have a think.
Have you thought of asking her what her name is?
Oh, maybe I'll do that. I don't know. I thought pets normally get named by their owner parents.
I found that when Bridges arrived, I could speak to her, and she told me what her name was.
I can try. Not for now. I'll let her get settled first.
All right. So is she the same colour and everything as Bridges as well?
Yep, absolutely identical. If that's what you want, Yorick.
Yeah.
Yep, she's curled up on your shoulder and is a tiny snore. She's gone to sleep. So, is there anything else anyone wishes to do? Or
No.
anybody watching this evening? Or we're going
Set watches, I guess.
I mean, you don't have to.
First watch in the tree.
Yeah, no, like let's all sleep and just get ganked by whoever's been following us. That's an excellent plan.
Okay.
Take Surf Watch because Bridges is there as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Snow and Gus, perception checks, please. You can do one for Bridges as well if you like.
Okay.
Let's change dice. Yeah, it's not bad. 16.
16. Okey doke.
Perception is wisdom, isn't it? So I got 15 and Bridges got 9.
Okay. Snow, you look back as the sky darkens, the stars come out. It's again fairly clear. You seem to have missed all the rain today. There are some clouds occasionally sort of obscuring the sky, but mostly it's clear. You don't see anything concerning or upsetting. You can see very far away to the south maybe the shape of some hills, maybe some bit larger hills than you've been travelling through, but everything looks cool. Gus, you see in the woods that surround you, you can hear sort of small animals moving about. Nothing major. Everything seems to be cool. Bridges is sort of walking the camp. You can sit here every now and again. Food? Maybe not. Food? What the fuck does he mean by friend? Oh well. So, and your watch passes. I assume you're doing the 4 hours so you can wake your elven friends. Okay. So at the end of the 4 hours, the 2 elves start to come to. So, Trelador, Celeste, you start to rouse from your meditation.
Anything to report?
Nothing's happening. It's all quiet. I'm going to sleep. Night, night. Come on, Brit.
Good night, yes.
Okay, so if you're not waking anyone else, I'll have Trevor and Celeste to do perception checks.
22.
22,
16.
16. As you walk around the camp and look back on it, you can see again the night sky is clear, it's slightly cold. You can see there's possibly going to be a frost in the morning, but you don't see anything to worry you, no signs of anybody looking for you or anything weird up ahead. Celeste, you glance over at Florian, who seems to be sound asleep, not a care in the world, as does everyone else. Tolador, you see much the same. Florian looks settled. There's a walloping great drake snoring beside. How long does she last for?
Well, that's something we have to discuss. At the moment, it's 10 minutes. So she
Oh, right,
would.
okay, fair enough.
But it's sort of because that's really a combat environment, so I suppose. Because
Okay.
they've changed the stats now, so that's something we have to have a chat about anyway.
Okay, fair enough. We'll sort that out then.
Yeah.
But yeah, everybody seems to be sleeping fairly peacefully for a change.
But I'd say she'd be gone by the morning.
Yeah.
At some point, I will take out the box and take out the bracelet. Just sort of play with it in my hand for a bit.
It's
Or
smooth, beautifully made, beautifully crafted, as you remember. And you remember as a child playing with it while it was on your father's arm, and him telling you that it was a symbol of the connection that you all have with the earth, with forests, the great forests that were back in the olden times. Before you got jaded and cynical, you thought that was a fantastical thing. And it just reminds you that really was good being an elf in the woods and the deep forests, until you had to move to the city and do magic and all that bollocks.
Are you okay, Trellador?
I will stuff the bracelet back in the box. Turn around. How are your feelings?
All things considered, I think I'm doing okay.
Good.
If you ever want to talk, I'm happy to listen.
A lot to say, really. I mean, don't. If you want to talk, don't let me stop you.
I know what it's like to have a difficult parent.
What makes you think I've got a difficult parent?
Just a feeling, I guess. You seem to have a bit of a fractured relationship with your sister, so...
Hmm.
I don't want to pry, but if you want to talk.
Thank you.
Well, I hope we are friends.
Yeah, we're getting. Anyway, I'm just going to go and look over there for.
Of course.
When I'm away from Celeste, I will take out the bracelet again and put it on, and then cover it up.
Okay.
Do I see this?
make a perception check. Are you trying to hide this, Trellador? Trying to do it stealthily so nobody notices?
Probably,
If so,
yeah.
make a deception check. Or a sleight of hand. Your choice. But don't
I'm
tell
shit
me
at both.
until we get Celeste's perception.
Okay. Deception or sleight of hand.
Yep, either or. Celeste,
My
what'd you get?
perception's 21.
21. Okay.
Sleight of hand 7.
7. Yeah. You see Trellador picks his bracelet up, puts it on, and then covers over with his tunic.
I'm just observing, I'm not saying anything.
The wood, again, as you put it on, feels warm on your arm. It feels comfortable, comforting. It's nice. So your watch continues on. Are you waking anybody else up, or are you just going to go for the 4 hours till?
Yeah, I'm not planning on waking anybody else.
Okay. So the dawn comes. You can all have a long rest.
Whee!
Reset wherever you need to reset. As you awaken, grab some breakfast. What would you like to do? The day is yours. It's fairly sunny this morning. It's it's a bit frosty, a bit cold to start with, but you think it will soon warm up.
As I sit up, I'm gonna sit, eat breakfast rations, and then just contemplate the different threats that we might run into in the dead forest.
Okay.
Just to go over every potential enemy that we may face.
Well, you already did some research about this, don't you? So you know that the Fae beings are rumoured to be in the outskirts of the forest, a little bit in. You know, they tend, like the stories tell, that they like to lead people into the realms of the undead. But whether that's true or not remains to be seen.
I'm just going to sit and contemplate on that.
Okay, so breakfast over, contemplation done.
I will attempt to steal myself and once again give a lesson to someone who's not actually a kitten and has not actually been watching this since they could crawl, but is in fact an elf.
Yes. Go for it. Another performance check. Celeste. Intelligence check, please.
That was a audible exhale that didn't pick up on the mic, but
15.
15.
13.
13. She's getting slower. So this time she shows you what to do on exiting a camp. And you manage to pick up it's different than going into a camp, which is I say you can have, what was the difference there? 3 points. You can have 5 points off for that insight you got there. Yeah, as you telling her this, Mia, you think that, you know what? She's quite clever. She should be able to get this.
Maybe if she had a better teacher.
Maybe she had claws. That would probably help. There's a lot done with the claws rather than just the paw.
So people, it's the steady day's travel will get us to Larkham just by about nightfall. So if you want to pick up the pace for a little bit every so often, we could get there a little bit before, so we're not turning up so like dead of night.
That be an idea?
I'm happy to help along by, if anybody needs to travel quicker, I can carry people in my horse form.
Yeah, potentially. Let's see how we get on. If people get tired, and maybe that's an option we can do.
Okie dokie. So, heading south again, let's have a perception check from Florian as he's leading you to Larkham. Yet you can do one if you wish, but you're not expecting to find another camp as you'll be staying in the town. But
Got 16 though, which is like my best roll of the evening.
nice, okay.
I
Florian,
hit double figures and 10.
wow, okay. So you struggling to figure out the direction until Miette points out that actually there was a camp about a mile away, that way, and you recall wandering gusts passing there before. You don't know where the camp is, but you remember them going that way. Oh, that's the way to Lark. I remember now. So you were slightly off course, but you've managed to, with Miette's help.
Just give a nod to Miette.
Disco stays between us.
Yes.
Snow, I assume you're doing your normal. If you would, for a perception check, please. And Trelador, you're at the back, yeah? Perception check, please.
15.
15. Sorry, Dad, I didn't get that.
7.
7. Everything perfect. You're not being followed at all. Snow, you wander, do your usual. There's not a huge amount of cover again. There are low bushes, occasionally stone walls, but nothing, no major sort of trees or rocks. So it's a little tricky to hide and wait and get a good perspective. But at the same time, nor can anyone else. So it's pretty easy to see if there's anyone coming, and there just isn't. So I say you travel on for a couple of hours. Did you want to go at a quicker pace?
Yeah, I'd pick the pace up to begin with, as we're all sort of like
Okay.
fresh. Just
So I'll
to
say you could do
try
a
and...
couple of hours at a higher pace, and then slow back down to your normal walking speed. I'd say you could chop. I'd say you chop at least 3 hours off the journey time if you continue to do that throughout the day.
Yeah, definitely, just so we can at least get to
Sure.
Larkham with sign of something open.
So unless there's anything anybody wants to do, we'll skip to where you can see the buildings of Larkham.
Again, it would just be observing Melissa and trying to duplicate.
Okay. Let's do.
Do I see Celeste
Make a perception
copying
check.
me?
Which she's not making any secret of it. So yeah, if you get above a 10, then yeah, sure.
I rolled a 10 for 14.
Yep. You can see her mimicking your walk. I mean, she's getting pretty good at it now. So it's only going to be whether she can do this under stress or not. But you don't need to roll today, Celeste. You've pretty much got it down.
Yeah, I'll pull back and give a couple of pointers and then just say that you're doing real well, darling. Just walk like the world is your oyster. I can't keep an accent to save my life.
Happens to all of us. Mainly me.
I'm usually pretty good at observing, but this kind of thing doesn't come quite as naturally to me. So I figure I should practice while I can. The more we can do to throw people off, the better, really.
Very, very good idea, though I must profess a secret to you, darling. A lot of confidence is all in the mind. If you resolve to be confident, then you will be. But
Well, I assume I can exude confidence if I'm mimicking you.
I've just had a lot of practice with it.
Cool. So, as you are cresting one of these sort of gentle hills, you can see as you get to the rise down before you, what looks like a small stream feeding into a town. It's a fairly large town. You would say it's about 100, 120 people-ish kind of size. All the usual buildings. Looks like an inn and a town square and shops, that sort of thing. A farmer's market maybe. And you can see beyond that, another couple of miles away, you can see dark trees on the horizon. Quite a lot.
Does it look familiar from the last time I was here? From memory?
Absolutely. Looks like Larkham to you. So,
Totally not a fair illusion.
probably not. So, as you start walking down the hill towards Larkham, we will take a little break. We've been going for a while, and grab a drink, and we'll be back here very shortly. So, one sec. Welcome back. So, as you start down the hill towards the town of Larkham, you can see as you approach, you get closer and closer. Florian, I think, while you've not been here for a long time, you can see that it looks a little different as you get close into town. There are not as many people as you would expect, and everybody is kind of walking around, not exactly aimlessly, but with less purpose than you would expect. But you make your way into town.
I would just, I'd point it out to people. Just be like, something seems a little off here, people. Just be on your guard.
Got my eye out.
Always.
So, there are various buildings which, as you approach the streets going in, mainly residential houses. There are there's at least 2 or 3 inns that you remember from in town square. Snow?
If I was to scale one of these buildings, would it be easy to skip from building to building?
Some of them, yeah, you should be able to do a few of them at least. If you wanted to, give me an acrobatics check.
Oh, okay. Natural 20 for 28.
Yeah. Okay, so you scale the building easy enough and start to sort of scamper across, sort of parkour your way across some buildings. The rest of you watch as snow is bouncing along the buildings. Make a perception check, please, Florian.
That reminds me of a monk I used to know.
Oh, hey, non-natural 20.
Non-natural 20. Yeah. This is really odd. You see a building that looks to be, with the doors open, and it looks to be like there's a book on in the hallway just open on the floor, pages sort of blowing back and forth in the gentle breeze.
Are there any people about?
There are a few. There's a couple walking down the street towards you, hand in hand. So they're talking to each other, and they're sort of walking on the other side of the street to you.
Melissa. I'll
Darling?
kind of lean into Melissa and be quiet, or quiet her. Something definitely ain't right here. And I'll point out the door with the book inside.
Okay.
You get
I'll look.
that feeling of the temple?
There's definitely something wrong here. Sorry.
Now look.
And then I'm then going to start kind of looking around and racking my mind.
Make a perception check.
Does this specifically kind of looking at so this is familiar to any kind of fey trickery that I know of?
Okay.
Perception, yeah?
Yeah, make a perception check with your advantage because you're looking for fey fiends or undead.
I'll drop back to the in between the group as well, and just let them know. Be like, something's not right.
Do I get a feeling of the town? Like, are they apprehensive? Are they scared? Are they sort of almost on autopilot kind of thing?
Make an insight check the town.
Oh, that's the best one yet, Nat. That is the best one yet.
Doing it to make you proud, Fiddy.
Okay, Melissa, what'd you get?
21.
21. You don't,
Nope. That's another natural one.
I think it's fey. There's definitely something off here. It's difficult. It's not fey. For sure. But there's something
Okay.
off.
Gotta get out, Florian. Keep your wits
The
at
book
bay.
looks as though somebody's just dropped the book.
This ain't Faye, but it's something alright. That book looked as though the person holding it just disappeared. You know what I mean?
They monsters. Do you want me to shoot him?
No. Hold on. Hold that thought, Gus. There's something wrong here. Keep your wits about you.
Of the town, where would I... am I looking for? Where would I know the... like any council or anything like that be?
Yeah, I mean, there was the mayor's office, if you can recall that being up near the town square, near where the inns are and the farmer's market.
Yep. I'd be like, Melissa, maybe we check out the mayor's office if something's going on.
Celeste, everything seems fine. Looks like a perfectly normal town to you.
The town's not lying to you.
Absolutely not.
I take it we're still walking past the people and they're
Up
still
to you.
kind of like
Whatever you
nonplussed.
want to do. Have you stopped to look at this house where the door's open?
I would have just kept walking personally,
Okay.
and I would have just pointed everything out to
Yeah,
Melissa and
these people
Kate.
sort of pass you on the other side of the street. It's quite
I,
quiet.
however, would have attempted to swipe the book.
Fair enough.
These are people I can get on with. They don't ask too many questions.
You wander over and take the book. Are you doing it so that the rest of your party doesn't notice, or are you just going to take the book?
Nah, fuck it, I'm gonna just take the book and start leafing through it as I walk back up to the group and walk along with them.
Yeah, it's a book. Looks to be a book of accounts. So it looks like somebody's paying their household bills. So there's the budget for food and looks like they bought some furniture recently. And somebody's very organised. They're writing all of this stuff down.
And so satisfied that is of no interest, I'll put it down somewhere.
I would keep pacing them across the rooftop, but as they stop and start looking in this house, Snow would sort of just perch on the edge of the roof, and in the wood, he would sort of just absentmindedly carve the trident symbol from the temple.
Fair enough. They don't stop for long. They just sort of stop, pause, and then move on. Going further into town as you walk along.
It's quite boring here, isn't it? Nothing's happening.
Something ain't right, Gus.
You can see a small child, about 8 years old, 7 years old perhaps, just sort of standing in the middle of the street, looking around.
Acting differently to the other people.
Not really, just sort of looking around.
I'm gonna look.
All right, youngster, what's up?
Hello.
I'm gonna
Hello.
look
Hello.
carefully just around
What's your name?
this child.
Davinia.
Hello, Davinia. I'm Gus.
Hello, Gus.
Where's your mummy and daddy?
My what?
Mummy and daddy, mother and father.
What?
Who
You're
lives with-
funny.
Well, I know that. That's obvious, isn't it?
You're not very tall.
Neither are you.
I'm 8.
I'm not.
That's nice.
Where do you live?
Here?
Where here? Where do you go to sleep at night?
Oh, my bed.
Yeah, where's that?
It's in my house.
And where's your house?
Over there. She points at a building.
And who lives with you in that house?
Well, it's just me.
It can't be just you. Who goes and buys your food and stuff?
Well, I just go to the market.
Well, it's free, is it?
Yeah?
Oh, awesome. Thanks. So I
What?
walk towards the market to get food.
What's not ringing right for me here?
Everything.
Yeah, same. Hard insight check here.
Okay, on what are you insight checking?
I'm focused on. I'm going to focus on that lack, that just dissociation when Gus mentioned parents,
Okay.
because that is completely off in this case, I think.
Make an insight check.
I'm just heading up the street towards the farmer's market to get some
Okay.
free food.
So Gus is wandering off on his own, or is someone going with him?
Would we have seen him?
One-
Would take it.
The Wandering Gus.
Yeah.
Gus,
Go with him.
Yeah. Yorick's
just-
going with him. That's fine.
just maybe you two
Possible
stick
trouble
with
with
us.
that,
Oh, there's free food up here.
We can probably get that after we figure it out. Okay?
Figure what out?
Come back here and I'll tell you.
All right. I'm here. Tell me.
And I'll kind of get down and be a bit quiet. Something ain't right with this town, Gus. It's not how I remember it. Free food, and that child didn't really seem like a child. No parents, doesn't know any of them.
But it seemed happy enough. I mean, I don't know much about human towns and stuff, but everyone seems happy and they've got free food.
It,
It seems
it-
all right to me.
it's definitely not Gus. Trust me on this, okay?
As I track along the rooftops, can I see the market from where I am?
Yeah, you can see. It's literally in the town square. There's certainly a lot more people up that way.
It's a lot better than Dar anyway. That place was a cesspit.
23 on the
23
insight.
on the inside check. She definitely wasn't lying. She definitely lives in that house and she gets her food from the market. But she does not appear to have or know what parents are.
Okay.
Mummy and daddy.
Now
This
gonna-
just doesn't ring any bells with her.
I'm now going to dig into my mind. What kind of creature could cause a dissociation like this?
I mean, you could try a history check or a nature check. Up to you.
Get me Hunter's Bean.
Well, you're thinking about Fae Fiends or Undead, aren't you? So
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nature or
History.
history? Same. Let's say. $21.
21. I mean, you've not heard of any Fae, Fiend or Undead that would cause that kind. I mean, the Fae, maybe. But they just normally take the child. They wouldn't confuse it and leave it here. So, yeah, you're struggling to figure out of any creature that could do this kind of thing.
Is there any kind of check I could do from my storybooks?
Ooh, yeah, you could try a history check.
Can I go over to where Miette found the book and look for any traces of anything magical
So you
or
go back to
otherwise?
the house.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Celeste is wandering away from the group back to the house.
Celeste.
17 on history.
17 history.
I'll be back in a minute. I just want to check
You
something.
Don't recall anything like this from the storybooks or stories that you've heard. There doesn't seem to be anything like that with this child completely disassociated from knowing what parents are. That's just odd. So, Celeste, you're doing, what are you doing?
Checking where Miette found the book to see if there are any like signs of a portal or a struggle or anything out of the ordinary that would catch my eye.
Okay, you can make an Arcana check if you like.
14.
14. Doesn't seem to be any traces of magic at all. The house just looks... I mean, looking in the hallway where the book was, it looks... it doesn't look to be... The carpet doesn't look to be in any sort of terribly bad state, as if the door had been open for very long. So it's not been rained on or anything, which is really odd.
I'd like to try something as well.
Okay.
As we wait for Celeste to make her way back, Florian's just gonna grab like Melissa's forearm and just give her the nod as if to say, just bear with me on this. And then I am going to open my mind a little bit
Okay.
and see if there are any connections between me and Dakota, or me and this devil, which is somehow with me, feel stronger, or if there's like a shift in reality in my eyes, as if I see different to what everyone else is.
Okay. You think about Dakota, you can feel when you reach out to her, you can see the image of her in your mind. You can hear her voice. You're not getting any sort of strength increase. You're not, don't seem to be in closer proximity to her at all.
Yep.
You feel about for the devil, whatever that may be. You can't find anything.
I think this is to do with the forest, Melissa. This ain't nothing to do with...
Unlikely. I'm gonna look down at the Lavinia. I'm just saying, darling, you wouldn't be able to point us in the direction of the person in charge of this town, would you?
Sure. If you go up to the town square, there's the mayor's. That's where she lives.
All right. Thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
Can I use my magic awareness on her? Well, her area.
Sure. And what does that
Just
do for
under-
you?
Basically, poor man's detect magic. Presence of concentration, concentrated magic. Location of any spell, magic item within 60 feet.
No, seems to be a normal little girl. She's kind of intrigued by you lot because you all look really quite weird, and she's visibly keeps staring at me as if to say, "Big kitty."
I'm going to use the opportunity then and hunker down so I'm at eye level at her and say, hello.
Hello, you're a cat.
Yes, I am.
Wow.
Would you like to show me your house?
Sure, it's just there. She points behind her. And you see your house. It's like a standard house. The door is
Don't
open.
want to bring me to there?
Sure, you can come in.
I would very much like if you took my hand and brought me there.
Sure. She grabs your paw, takes you to this house. The door is open. Make a perception check.
Yeah, it's a house, all right.
You get
10.
10. I mean, it's very definitely a house. You walk in. There's the front door opens up directly onto what would be a front room. And you can see a table there set for 3 people to have dinner. There are 3 chairs. There's a long sort of sofa-like, and a small bookshelf with a few books on it. Looks like there's a kitchen further back.
Is there an upstairs?
There is.
So I want to try and get Lavinia to bring me upstairs as well. From her bed, shall we say.
Sure. She scampers up the stairs. Come on, it's not far. You go
Shuffle.
upstairs. It's not really rooms. It's more of a sort of open plan. But you see a small bed that Lavinia runs over to and bounces and sits on. This is my bed.
And
And
it is a very fine bed.
there is a sort of curtain rail about halfway across the room. And the curtain is pushed back, and there's a large double bed in front of the window that looks out over the street.
And who sleeps in that bed?
She looks over. Nobody?
Oh, you have 2 beds in your room. You're very lucky.
Yeah, well, this is my bed. I like this bed.
You never want to sleep in the bigger bed?
No.
As
I
a
got to sleep in
player,
the bigger bed once. It was wonderful.
I don't think I'd like it.
So you wouldn't mind if I sat there?
Go ahead.
And just to check for my reaction, I'm going to bounce onto the larger bed.
It's a standard bed. It's a bit damp. Smells a bit musty. As if nobody's used it for a very long time. But
as
seems
a
comfortable.
player, I've realised what this is.
But not as the character.
No.
You have a very fine house, Lavinia.
Thank you. We have a garden too.
Oh, will you show me your garden?
Sure. She runs downstairs. Goes out through the kitchen. You can see this what is essentially just a big square full of weeds and high grasses. See?
Did you grow all these?
Yeah. Well, they were
You've
just
done
here.
very well.
They were just here. I didn't really do anything.
But you were taking care of them. That's very good.
Well, they just sort of do this by themselves.
No, you're being too modest.
They are nice though. And
They
she
are
points
very
out there are
nice.
some flowers, some daisies, dandelions, that sort of thing.
Shall we go to the market next? And we can find something together for lunch.
Sure. She takes your paw again and leads you back out through the front door.
From my vantage point on the roof,
Yeah.
looking over at the square, is what's going on in the square? Is there anything?
Make a perception check for me.
Math hard. 18.
18. I mean, it looks like people are going to the market, buying goods. They appear to be putting goods into bags and moving off. There are people going into what looks like to be one of the taverns.
What's the mix of the population like?
As in,
Is
Male,
it
female,
all? Is it mainly human, or is it?
it's mainly human here. There, you would say there's probably some halflings dotted about, but it seems to be majority human, as you would expect for this kind of location.
I went to inspect the house that Miette got the book from to see if there were any signs of any magical disturbances, but I couldn't see anything.
I don't know what this is. Be plain and simple with y'all. It ain't fiendish or undead. That much I know. It's similar to Fae, but this ain't how Fae do things. 'Cause Fae creatures would more than happily snap up a young child like her. No, something's wrong. Keep your wits about you. I don't know what this is.
I still want to visit the the mayor's office just to.
Yeah, I think we should still go into town and ask around, but
Bit of a weird question, but are there any like missing person posters around or anything like that?
Make a perception check.
24.
24. You don't see any. There don't appear to be any posters of any kind, really. Seems like a quiet residential street that leads up to the market.
There isn't any. I'm going to look out and look beyond people which are just walking aimlessly as such, or with nothing to see what they're doing. Going to look out specifically to see if there is anybody who is like us, or is like hiding in an alleyway or something, as if to see, like, oh, there's somebody else which isn't acting weird.
Okay, make a perception check. Yay, let's go to the market. I'm hungry. There are apples.
You can tell me all the best places to buy from.
Buy? No, you
To
just
get food from.
You just get apples. Some of them are a bit squashy, but most of them are okay.
Then we shall pick the best ones.
Okay. She sort of
18.
starts to drag you towards the town square. 18.
I'm presuming I'm going to be visible to the rest of the party.
Yeah, oh yeah, you pass the rest of the party as she's saying this.
I think we should follow them.
Yeah.
As you start to follow Niet and Davinia, you see a young half-orc, sword by his side, bow on his back. Looks like he's got a backpack on. Kind of adventure-y type. Seems to be puzzled by something. Keeps looking up as people walk past him. He's just sort of leaning against a wall. Looks up as somebody passes, then looks away again. And as you pass, he looks up, sort of scans you, and then looks away again.
2 seconds, Melissa.
Keep yourself safe.
I'll walk over to him.
He sort of draws his sword.
You all right there? You seem like you're looking for something or someone.
I mean, what's your name?
I'm Florian. What's yours?
My name's Kiln. Why are you here?
Just traveling through. I remember this from when I came here before, but
Sure. Okay.
why are you here, Kill? How long have you been here?
That's a very good question. Very good question.
You don't know?
I'm staying at the inn.
Oh, just off where the marketplace is, just
Yeah,
up there.
yeah. I came down here because there was. Yeah, I gotta go. He
Where are you
starts
going?
walking
Back to the inn?
Walking back to the town square.
I'll follow. Now intrigued, and I'll kind of get either Melissa or anybody in the groups who's looking just to.
The little girl's pulling me towards the market.
Yeah. We're all heading to the
They're all
market.
following.
Is it food time now?
Yeah.
Can't you right? And we'll traipse up after Niet.
And you can hear the town bell starts to ring for, and it chimes 6 o'clock.
No, I was tracking along the rooftops, sort of forward of the group,
Okay.
and he'll sort of turn, and obviously Miette's not going to be so, and he'll just fling a dagger into the dirt in front of the group,
Okay.
and wait for them to look up.
Okay.
I would instantly look up.
Yeah, same.
Okay. So you
On
look
edge.
up and see Snow.
And Snow would sign to Miette. Not sure we should eat the food. Be careful. I'll watch from the rooftop.
Okay. So the town square. Picture sort of
Important question.
Sure. Yep.
Sorry. The bell chimes 6.
Yeah.
Based on the sun in the sky, what time is it actually right now?
It's about right, you think?
Okay, just wanted to check that.
So the town square, think old style Wild West, where you've got like an inn, you've got a church, you've got, you know, shops dotted around, and in the middle you've got a market. Sort of covered stalls, look like they've been there for a while. And you can see people going up to them and taking products, foods, putting them in bags and walking off. Nobody's paying for anything. But as you look, there don't appear to be any stall holders. And Davinia runs with you to obviously have faith. This is my favourite, but sometimes the apples are squishy, so you have to look really careful. And she sort of reaches up as far as she can reach, and you look and you see most of the apples here are rotten. She's like, don't eat squishy ones. She moves down a while and sort of, she wait here, and crawls underneath the stool. And you can, if you bend down to see what she's doing, she's literally found a crate of apples, and there are loads of apples on the floor that are rotten. And she's sort of taking them out and finds one that's not rotten. Finds another one and crawls back to you and says, here!
Thank you.
And eats her apple. Which is not fresh, but at least not rotten.
I will attempt to slip my apple into my bag without her noticing.
Make a sleight of hand check.
13.
Yep. She doesn't know, she's too busy eating her apple. She rolled a 4.
I'm going to lean into Celeste after seeing. I assume as we catch up, we can see the rotten food.
Yeah.
On the
There's
stalls.
quite a lot of rotten food on these stalls.
I'm going to lean into
There's no-
Celeste.
Yeah, sure. So,
Lean into Celeste and say in Elvish, "This is hurting my soul. There is something deeply wrong here."
I agree, this is disturbing. Can I inspect the food?
sure. Make an investigation check.
15.
15. I mean, the stall nearest you is looks like to be a fruit and vegetable stall. Most of the softer fruits have just rotted away. Some of the apples are slightly hardier than the ones at the back of the stall. Seem to be doing better than the ones at the front, which seem to be maggot infested and rotten. Other stalls you notice are in similar disarray depending on what food they are. That looks like there was a meat stall a bit further on, butcher's. The smell of that is unpleasant.
Can I get a rough guesstimate of how long this food's been sitting out?
What did you roll?
15.
15. You would say at least, for the fruit and veg stall, at least a couple of weeks.
is not something that's recently happened. This is a couple of weeks old.
I don't think I'm very hungry anymore.
This
Can
is all in
I-
Elvish in response to Melissa.
Can I look across all of the people in this market stall and just kind of count heads, see if there's any pattern to the people that are still here?
Sure, make a perception
Because it
check.
feels like some people have gone missing.
Make a perception check.
22.
22. Looking at the market stalls, you can see that there are chairs behind the stalls themselves, as if somebody should be sat there taking money. And there are, in some cases, boxes, some of them open, that have money in them. But nobody seems to be paying them any attention. The people that are coming to the market, there's, like I say, mainly humans, as you would expect in this sort of location. They seem to be coming up, sort of rummaging through the stall, picking what they want, putting it in a bag, going away again.
So they seem to be picking up rotten food.
No, they're trying to find the best food.
Right.
They just don't seem to be bothered with the fact that it's rotten. Sorry, what did you roll for your perception? 20?
22.
22. You also see so one couple that come up. The woman keeps putting her hand down like that, and then sort of almost shrugging and then carrying on. And every now and again she goes to put her hand down as if she's looking for something or someone.
By any chance, did the shatter a likeness to Davinia?
No, not at all.
Considering who Melissa is, Melissa probably staggers back a moment and is holding back tears just seeing that.
So what's going on then? This is all a bit weird, even
There's
for a
something-
human town.
Gus, there's something wrong here.
Yeah, you said that about 10 times.
I know.
Let's.
It may be worth finding out who rang the bell.
Oh, good idea. Let's go do that. And I'll head
Davinia, darling, can you point us towards where the mayor lives?
Oh, sure. She lives over there. She points at the house beside the inn, or one of the inns.
Where did the bell come from?
The church.
Church. Okay, I'm heading towards the church. Come on, Yorick.
Sure.
Question here, Chaz. How long has it been since I've been here?
Oh, good few years.
The mayor at the time, male or female?
Female, you think? Yeah, probably. You didn't really stay very long. You just sort of breezed into town, got
Yeah,
some
and-
supplies, and went on. So
Yeah.
you don't know huge
Yeah, that's
amounts
fair.
about it.
I'm not going to trust the dwarves' instinct here. They tend to get into trouble the most often. And I'm going to follow the dwarves as they're traipsing towards
But
the
thus you
church.
get towards the church.
Uh-huh.
It's sort of low, long building with a clock tower on it, which is unusual. You've not seen a clock tower before in the human lands. It's the first one you've come across.
Fair enough.
And
Write that down, Yorick. Got a clock tower.
Cock tower, right.
Clock tower, that's right. Big hard thing pointing up in the air.
as you approach, the doors open, and a gnomish man, long beard, sort of steps out. Ah! Welcome, welcome. Would you like to come in?
Thank you. Yes, I would.
Have a spot of contemplation. This is a space where everyone can worship as they see fit. So
Well, that's nice.
do come along in. Bring all of your friends, of course.
Did you ring the bell?
I did, yes. It's part
Why
of
did you ring the bell?
because it's 6 o'clock.
Oh, right,
Yes,
okay.
What do we do? And what we do is we ring the bell on the hour, every hour, until 8 o'clock in the evening, because then after that everybody likes to have a sleep. And in the morning from 8 we ring every hour, so everybody knows what time it is.
Oh, that's quite clever.
It is, isn't it? It's a service we provide. So
Can't we
you
just look up and look at the sun and see where that is? That's how we tell the time.
could do, yes. That's a very interesting point. But we like to help. You know, if you're indoors all day and you don't look at the sun, but you can hear the bell.
So what's wrong with all these people out here then? They're all weird.
Wrong?
All the food's all rotten.
I don't think that would be the
Where's
case.
your people selling stuff?
I don't,
What's going on?
nobody sells things. What would be the point of that?
Well, it's a market. That's what they do.
Well, the market is the farmers bring their produce to distribute amongst everyone.
Well, they're not doing that, are they? Because it's all rotten.
No, don't be ridiculous. Of course it isn't.
Yes, it is. Look, you can smell that bloody meat stand from here. It's out. It's up in.
He takes a big breath. No, I don't think it is. I think you may be delusional. Are you okay?
I think
We
you've
have
got
a
a badger
healer.
up your nose.
So a question here. Does this gnome seem more complex mentis than what the other people are?
Make an insight check.
Thank you.
You got a badger up your nose.
A badger?
Well, that's the only way you wouldn't be able to smell that bloody meat.
What a strange concept. I'm not sure that I understand what you're talking about. You're a very strange person. You
22.
are quite tall for a halfling.
No, I'm not a tall halfling. I'm a
22.
short human.
He seems to be. At first, you thought he was more with it than the rest, but he seems as confused as Definia is. I mean, his denial of the meat smell, his denial that people sell things.
I'll turn around and go, he's batty as a fruitcake.
Sorry to bother you.
You're
These two can get a bit
not a
out of
bother
hand.
at all.
You won't be able to.
Gosh, you have a very pretty dress, and
Thank you,
there's
darling.
two of you with dresses, and you, sir, have the same livery. That's lovely. Are you with the army?
No, these two are just my siblings.
I see. Well, welcome. We welcome everyone.
I just wanted to ask where we could go to speak with the mayor, because
Well, if you go to the town hall, next to the inn, that's where the mayor holds her chambers. I'm sure she.
Okay,
I haven't
thank
seen her for a while, but I'm sure she's still there.
thank you, darling.
You're welcome.
And I'll kind of corral the two dwarves over towards where the town was. I think if we're going to get anything, talking to the mayor's going to be best. Because either they're managing to hold on to their mind, or they're the one in control of this.
That was my thoughts as well. Yeah.
Why would you think that? If everyone's like this, then everyone's going to be like this, aren't they?
Creatures that like to do stuff like this, Fae in particular, like to pose themselves as a leader whilst they're, I hate to use the word, but harvesting the mortal people that are in the town.
Oh, so she's a monster then. Come on, Yorick, let's go.
No, not. Hold on.
Well,
It ain't for definite. It's just one of my running theories. I have no idea what's going on here.
we'll
As
be
I keep
ready to show
saying,
you where she is. You just nod us the wink.
no, just hold on for a moment. Let's speak with them first.
Okay, so you're going back across to.
Go over to the town hall.
I have absolutely no idea where Bridris gets her gung-ho, let me eat all the people attitude from.
None whatsoever. From her mum's, probably.
The inn next to the town hall, is that the one where the orc went into?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you're going into the town hall, yes?
Yeah, I'm going to go in kind of cautiously looking around.
Okay. You walk in, the cool, dark interior. It's surprisingly empty. There's a desk set up almost like a counter with quills and books, ledgers. There is a sort of bench seat in front of another desk across the other side of the room, which looks to be padded in some sort of leather, and space for at least sort of 5 people to sit along. In the middle of this bench seat is a human woman. She looks about 50s, greying hair, quite heavy set. Looks up as you enter. Oh, hello. Can we help? Do you have an appointment?
Unfortunately not. We're
Right.
travellers from out of town. I was hoping to speak with the mayor.
I am.
Wonderful.
Mayor Gwyn, at your service.
Mayor Gwyn, it's a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure
And
to meet you.
as we're doing this introduction, I am hard insight checking in case of disguised fae. It's my current
Make an insight
my
check
current
with
running
your,
theory. It's my
with your-
closest guest. 19.
19. It's not a fae.
Okay.
This seems to be a human woman in her 50s.
It's alright,
So,
we
what can we
just
do
came
for
in
you?
from
Welcome to the town of Luck.
we just come in from out of town, and
Well, obviously you wouldn't be around from around here, otherwise I would know.
I don't know, things just seem a little bit odd out there. I can't quite place
Odd
it.
how?
I don't know. There's this nice young girl who led us to the market, but
Right.
she's saying she ain't got no mom or dad.
Well, that certainly seems odd.
It does seem odd.
What was her
No,
name?
see,
I'll get someone to look into it.
oh, I think it was Davinia,
Davinia.
something like
Davinia. Oh, yes, I know Davinia. Yeah, she lives down Wood Street, doesn't she? That's right, yes, Wood Street, Davinia.
But
As
she
far as
seemed
I'm
real
aware,
odd.
she does not have any parents.
It seems kind of odd for a little girl of that age to be
Well,
living
we
on
all
her
look
own
out
in a
for her.
house.
Everybody looks out for Davinia.
Why wouldn't she stay at a house with,
She says she doesn't want to.
How well kept is the mayor?
She seems fairly smartly dressed. She has her chain of office on. She's, clean, tidy.
As I'm talking to her, I just want to try and catch, with my hand behind my back, catch Miette's attention and just kind of point towards the kind of check-in desk where I saw those ledgers.
Okay. So, Miette, make a perception check, please.
21.
21. Yep, you definitely see this as Melissa tries to sort of motion you to go check out the other desk.
Do I still have a small human attached to one of my paws?
You don't. She seems to have slipped your grasp.
Fair enough, then I don't have to worry about shaking her off before I do my investigations.
Okay. So, you wander across to the other desk. Make an investigation check. Not really sure what you're looking for, but yeah.
17.
17. Okay, so you go over there and look, sort of pop your head over the edge of this desk. You can see that there are 3 stools sat there, 3 inkwells, and one of the inkwells has been spilt onto a stack of paper. But nobody seems to have cleared it up. And one of the stools has sort of been pushed over on its side. It looks as though somebody got up and just sort of ran out
Somebody
outside.
left in a hurry.
Apparently so.
Did you say she was sitting in the dark?
No, it's dark compared to the outside.
Okay.
There's no lamps been lit yet in here.
A couple more questions, just because we're passing through and it's been a little while. We had to skirt around Dar, you know how it is.
Oh, yes, indeed. I would not recommend anybody go to Dar.
You seen many people passing through as of late?
Not recently. No, there was a young man, young orc chap, I believe staying next door.
Alright.
Clint,
Alright.
something like that.
And you seen anyone else? Any particularly large fellas? Old friend of mine I've been trying to catch up with.
Large fellows. I don't believe there was a large fellow. No, I don't think so.
Alright, well, thank you very
At that
much.
point, she picks up a hand mirror and just sort of looks at herself in it. Just puts it down again.
No, I'm going to say kind of just give some small talk and then say, well, we're going to go. But whilst I'm talking to her, I'm just going to glance down at that hand mirror.
Okay.
Because I'm now in high alert mode and don't trust anything.
Okay. Make
Anything off
investigation or
about it.
perception check, up to you, whichever one you want to do.
I'll do investigation.
Okay.
Actually, I'll do perception. It's stronger.
Sure.
Oh, these rolls are on fire tonight. Natural 20, but 24.
24. It
It's
seems
going to be a waste if it's just a mirror.
It seems to be a hand mirror that has some nice scroll work on the back. Seems to be made of some kind of metal. You don't think it's silver, but it's silverish.
I'm just
Alright,
gonna.
well, thank you, darling. We'll continue on
if
our
there's
way.
anything we can do, please come back and see us.
By the way, wouldn't you have like reception staff or someone who would organise your meetings?
She looked slightly puzzled at you.
I was just intrigued as to what that desk was for over there.
That's for the ledgers. Yes, the ledgers are there. That's where
Fair
we keep
enough.
the ledgers.
Fair enough.
You're welcome. Do enjoy. Please stay next door. The stew is very nice.
All right. And as we kind of making our way down, I'm going to go over to the desk, kind of next to me, and say, "Do you find anything?"
They're just ledgers, but it looks like someone left in a hurry.
I'm just going to peek over and look at the ledgers and see if I can see what the latest date is in the books.
The latest date that would be a couple of weeks ago.
Whilst all that's going on, with the mention of the orc, Clint, I would have left Town Hall, gone into the inn.
Okay. So you walk into the inn. There's a fire here. Looks as though it's been recently lit. There is what looks to be another human gentleman, slightly portly, about 40s, early 40s perhaps, late 30s, behind the bar. You can see the orc that you saw earlier is sat in a corner having a drink. I don't seem to be anybody else in here at the moment.
I'll go up to the barman, as it seems to be the only person who is behind any...
Hello. How can I help? Just
Hi
travelling
there.
through, fancy a drink? Bit of a bite to eat? Maybe a room for the night?
Potentially one of those three, yeah, definitely.
We do one of the best breakfasts around. I tell you, there is bacon, there is sausages, there are eggs. It is amazing. And included in the price of your room.
Marvellous. How much would that be then?
That is 2 silver for a room and breakfast.
A room and breakfast. That's
Yeah.
pretty good. I remember this place when I came here before. I've
We've been
traveled
here a
about it.
very long time.
Yeah, yeah. How long has this establishment been here?
Oh, well, my father first built this establishment back, this would be, let's think, before I was born, so we're talking at least 50 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's pretty impressive then.
Yeah, he was a pretty impressive fellow. He and my mother rocked up from a small village and decided that the big city, such as it is, big city, it's a town, was the place to be. Near the edge of the forest, we could make some money from travellers, and so it's proved to be. It's been very a success over the years.
How compassmentis is he? Does he seem very different to everyone else who's...
Make an insight check.
Non-natural 20.
I mean, he hasn't said anything that leads you to believe he's like the others. He's not got confused or disassociated with anything so far. So, what'll it be, young sir?
Well, I got a few of my companions are probably going to come in here as well.
Of course. We have plenty of rooms. I think we only have one room let out, and he points to the orc at the moment.
That's all right then. Maybe I can get just like a platter for my friends when they come in.
Of course. We can do. We've got a meat platter on at the moment. We can do cheeses and breads with it.
Yeah, a bit of everything. I think everyone eats everything.
For how many?
There's, well, myself, and then you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. For 8 of us.
8 of you. Oh, marvelous! Yes, of course. I tell you what, if you leave me a gold, I'll get that started.
Marvelous, and I'll do just that.
Okay. He says. He turns as if to shout at someone. Seems to puts the gold in his lockbox. I'll be right back. There's a swing door out to the back where the kitchen is. And
As it swings open, is there anybody in there?
Make a perception check.
16.
16. You don't see anyone in there. And indeed, he starts opening cupboards and getting food out of the pantry, sort of making up these platters for you.
As I wait, I will just head over towards where Klein is.
He sort of looks up at you. Hi.
Hey there. Remember me?
Yeah, from the street, right?
Yeah, just outside.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, how long have you been here then?
I mean, a while. I'm pretty sure there was. See, we came in, and then it's all a bit blurry. I mean, I had. I'm not feeling so good.
You're not? And
I'm not.
maybe you should stop drinking then just for a little
I
bit. It
think
could be
maybe
bad.
I will, but I think maybe I'll go and have a little lie down because I'm not feeling so good at all.
What
So,
room are you in? I'll come and check a bit later if you want, just to make sure.
I'm in room 5. And he
Okay.
sort of looks at you, sort of puts his beard down and just sort of looks around and starts to walk up the stairs.
I'll wait for everyone to come in after that.
So what are the
We'll
rest
step
of you up
out.
to?
We'll step out of the town hall, and as we're kind of making our way over to the inn, I'll quickly turn to Celeste and Yorick and say, "I know you two are good at healing, stuff like that. We got that kind of magic, but it seems like these people are losing their memories or something. I saw earlier a couple walking along, and the lady she kept looking and reaching for a child that wasn't there, and that she seemed to just be remembering or something.
I mean, there are a couple of things I could try, but it would be no guarantee that it would work. I could try dispelling magic, but there would have to be magic there in the first place. And if they've got some kind of minor ailment, I could purge it, but I'm not sure I've got the capabilities to deal with something on this scale. This is quite probably much beyond my means.
What about a curse?
Here anyway. Why don't we just go on and go into the woods? That's where we're going, aren't we? They're all fruitcakes here.
I can't leave this, Gus. There's something wrong here.
Well, they all seem happy enough.
They're eating rotten food, Gus. There's a little girl without her parents.
But did you hear the mayor said she ain't got no parents?
That food won't last forever, and I don't think that anybody's bringing any more. So once it's gone,
she can remember. I think people have been taken from this town, and these people don't remember them. And those ledgers read a couple of weeks ago.
As you're having this conversation, the bell rings out for 7 o'clock.
Let's go inside the inn and catch up with Florian.
Does time seem to be passing at a normal pace? Because that was a very quick hour.
You've done a lot. I'm saying that's an hour, yes. It is a normal hour.
We'll go back in. We'll go into the inn and catch up with Florian.
Okay. So you enter the inn. You see Florian sat at a table by himself. And a human, it is maybe 40-ish. Is just walking towards him with a platter of food. So, these will be your friends, sir, yes?
Yeah,
puts
certainly.
the platter down.
How does the food look?
The food looks lovely. Fresh meats, cheeses, bread.
Okay.
And he stops and brings another tray of similar out. So
do we need to sign a book to say that we're staying here?
I don't know. Are you staying here? I was only asked to provide a platter, but yes, by all means, if you wish to stay the evening, it would be 2 silver per room. How many rooms would you require? We have, I believe, 11 available currently. There is only one occupied at the moment by Klein.
Well, I'm more than happy to pay for rooms for us for the evening.
While they're talking, I'm going to take some meat off the platter. Hopefully no one's watching, and just eat it because I'm hungry.
Okay, make a sleight of hand sleight of hand check.
Say 4 rooms?
Of course, yes. That'll be 8 silver keys.
I will give him a gold.
How many do you get?
18.
18. Yeah, you managed to. Because Celeste is currently occupied talking to the innkeeper.
I only did it like that because people keep on going on about the food and stuff, and so they've probably been told not. I've been told not to eat things, so I'm just doing it sneakily.
Fair enough. He gives you 2 silver in change. There's your change. I'll get your keys. Bear with me 1 second. Do you have baggage or anything, or are you?
We're all carrying what we own. That's fine.
Marvelous.
Do I need to sign to say that we're staying?
We don't have a guest book. No, we should. A lot of people don't. Well, how can I put this? People in your professions, some of you don't. They're not as literate, shall we say, as others around here.
So, you don't keep a log of your guests?
No.
Well,
There's no need. We've never done that. But I mean, you're welcome to, if you wanted to. I suppose it's not a bad idea actually. We could do that. We should start that. Bear with me. I'll get your keys and I'll see if I can get a book of some kind. Yes, that's what a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Walks off to behind the bar. Puts the money
As he once he's walked off and we've sat down, I'll immediately say, right, nobody touch this food. We've got our rations. I don't trust it.
I just
Not
want to.
reacting, but
I see it hanging out the side of Gus's face.
Can I just peek over the counter to see if there is any books or anything like that? Any notes that have been dated or anything?
Walk back to the bar and have a look.
I just sort of gonna peer over.
You can't see from the table. Your table that Florian sat at.
I wouldn't have been at. I
away from
would have
the
still
bar.
been at the counter talking to the guy.
But the guy was at the table bringing the food
Oh,
to
okay.
Florian. And
Then I will
as
go
you
over
came
to the
in-
bar. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. He says, here, your keys, and he hands you your 4
Thank you.
keys. You've got 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Thank
Make
you.
a quick perception check.
28.
28. You
Gee.
look, there doesn't appear to be any kind of guest book or anything. There looks to be a book which he has for ordering.
What's the
for
latest
various
date
foods.
on it?
The latest date, that would be a couple of days ago, about 3 or 4 days ago.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, of course, anything else, please let us know. If any drinks or anything like that, and if the fire's not hot enough, we can, add more wood. So anything you require.
That's most kind of you. Thank you.
More than welcome.
When Celeste returns the table with the keys, I want to ask her for them rather than taking them, and then suggest in a low voice to the table that can someone distract him while I go upstairs.
I'm gonna come with you, so yeah.
I'll kind of
Well, you've got the keys. Why don't you just go upstairs?
yeah.
I mean, we are, aren't we?
Yeah, fair enough. Good point.
And I'll hand Florian
Yes,
and
yes.
Mia each a key.
Okay. Any
No.
particular number?
I would
Lift them.
number 4. for
Oh,
me.
okay. I will hand all the keys to Mia then.
Okay.
I'm going to check the rooms in case the other guests that we know who have been here have left anything behind. So I'm going to hand all of the keys to Florian. You check the rooms that we have keys for. I will check the other rooms.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'll keep an eye on the food.
Are you still eating the food?
Yes.
Okay, cool. It's lovely.
Moving across the rooftops, is there a way for me to get on top of the inn?
Yeah, you can see a way to round via other buildings across the top of the town hall and then down to the inn.
Cool. I will do that then, and I will. Is there any sort of opening at the top that I could get inside?
There are plenty of windows on the first floor where the bedrooms are located.
Okay. Yeah, I'll find a window that I can get in. And
Sure. Roll me a d6, please.
And I will kind of remind you the game is Scare Melissa, not Scare Florian.
4. So, the false window you come along to, the crack open, so you open it up, climb inside. Room appears to be empty. Sheets are clean, freshly turned down. Looks like an empty inn room.
can I open the door from the inside?
You try to open the door, and it opens.
Okay, cool. And then Snow will just come out and sort of just saunter down the stairs.
As you're coming down the stairs, Niet and Florian are coming up the stairs. Are you leaving the door open or closing it?
I'm leaving it open.
Leaving it open. Okay. So, as you two walk up the stairs, you can see Snow coming down the stairs.
Nice of you to join us. Something ain't right, Snow. Thanks for that little bit of a warning back there.
I don't like it. It's something certain, not what it seems.
I think at the minute, don't know if you want to stay with us, one of our strongest leads is a chap called Klein who I met. He's not feeling well and kind of has a bit more gusto about him than most of the townsfolk.
And happy to accompany you. It's if you need the extra set of eyes.
Yeah, definitely. said he was in room 5, so that's exactly where I was going to go first.
Okay.
Okay, so you go to room 5, the pair of you, and yet where are you off to?
Room 6.
Room 6. Okay. So room 5.
Yep.
Door's
I'll
shut.
try the. I'll try it and see if it opens.
It's locked.
Okay. I'll knock.
It takes a while, but eventually you hear. What? What is it?
It's me, Klein. Just coming to make sure you're
Hi.
all right.
I'm still not feeling great, to be honest. I'm kind of. I don't know. I just feel wrong.
Any chance you can open the door and we can?
Sure. You hear the door, the lock go. Force the door. He looks slightly dishevelled, as if he has been sleeping.
Just a little bit worried. You seem a bit more compass menace than most people in this town here, Klein, and don't seem like you got on your memory what was going on with who you're with, why you're here, how long you've been here.
I'm sorry. Which of these questions are you asking me first?
Not really a question for each of them. Just saying, you don't seem, definitely don't seem right, and we're trying to get down to the bottom of it.
I mean, I've just felt unwell. I'm not sure I follow what you mean.
Where are your friends, Klein? You mentioned when we arrived, but there's no one with you.
There isn't anyone with me. No, I'm by myself.
But when did you all arrive?
That was about a week ago.
And how many rooms did you take?
I mean, I've got this room. It's the only one I've got.
And you said you got here about a week ago, Klein.
Yeah.
Before, you couldn't really remember. You just
I
said,
think. Yeah, I think it was a week ago. Maybe it was a few days. I'm not sure. As I said, I'm not feeling too good.
definitely not good, is it? So,
Now, if you guys don't mind, I think I'd like to get some more sleep.
Of course.
Thanks. We can catch up in the morning, maybe.
I don't know if it's just me just reading into it wrong, Chaz, of how you're now talking as Klein, but does he seem any different from when I was talking to him outside in the bar of...
No,
of
he definitely seems
it's
a bit
just-
confused, a bit unwell, but...
Okay. Anything, as he opened the door and as I'm talking and as he's about to close it, can I just have a quick scan of the room to see if there's any food or drinks in
Quick
here?
perception check.
No. 5.
5. Yeah, he's kind of standing in the doorway.
Yeah.
With his sort of hand on the door. Look, I'm really sorry, I've got to get some sleep. Pushes the door shut and you hear it lock. So, yet, room 6. Door opens.
It wasn't locked?
Nope.
Okay, proceed to investigate.
The room is clean. Sheets seem to be fresh. There's no luggage anywhere. It looks as though this room has been recently turned over to be, ready for guests.
And continue on.
Room 7, exactly the same. And in fact, all of the rooms you go into appear to have been freshly turned down that morning for guests.
Is this campaign
Going
3
back to
version of
room
a bridge?
6.
Sorry, you can't both speak at the same time.
As I said, is this campaign 3's version of a bridge?
I mean, if you make it into the bridge, yeah.
I'm going to that reference explaining the breakdown of this
Yeah.
evening's game. Right, sorry, go back to room 6.
Yeah.
And I want to do one of those, like, incredibly thorough, you know, corners of the wardrobe, underneath the corners of the
Okay,
bed,
make an
absolutely everywhere
investigation
something
check.
might have been missed. 13. My luck is
13.
finished.
I mean, as far as you could tell, this is a fairly decent room in an inn. Freshly cleaned. Sheets smell fresh, they're laundered. So it's fairly high quality. For 2 silver a night, it's a bloody bargain.
I will come out and report my findings to you too.
It seems to be the only business here which is still operating. Don't know about you two, but I find that very weird. And the food is fresh.
The only thing I can suggest is just as the priest still tended to his temple, the innkeeper still tending to his inn. It's what he knows best, even if he doesn't remember his staff.
Do you think it works like a muscle memory?
I think so. I dare say that were you or I infected with what is going on here, we'd still know how to pick a lock or throw a dagger.
I agree.
But then, why not the market? The stall hop? Why were none of them there?
Because they're market people second, they're farmers first. They've returned to their farms.
Very good point. Maybe we should join the others just to see what they can come up with.
Did you check the other rooms that we have keys for?
Not yet. I just went to clans first. Should we do that?
I would be happy if we did, just even if so we know that they're as empty as everything else.
I'm saying that, Chaz. I'm assuming that if all the other rooms were open, that the keys, the rooms for the keys we have, the keys for the rooms we have, sorry, they were open and Mia checked them already, or not.
Mia, check room 6 through to 12.
Okay, so we've got 1 to 4 to go. Yeah,
Well,
let's do
technically,
that.
Snow came out at 3, didn't he?
Snow came out at 4.
Snow
So
came out
that
at 4, so
door
he
is
wants
open.
3 to check.
So you opened the doors 1 to 3, and none of them are locked. They're all clean. They're all freshly made up. Everything looks normal. They look quite comfy.
Let's get back to the others, see if they can come up with anything else.
So while those guys were upstairs, downstairs, what would you like to do, if anything, in that time?
Well, Gus is going to be, whenever anyone's looking away from him, so turned away, he's going to eat some food. And as soon as they look back, he's just done it.
Fair enough. You will notice Gus eating food, but I don't think you're
Gus,
about to stop him.
Gus, I'm going to tell you a little story about fey creatures. Little fairies and satyrs and whatnot that live in
Oh, so
the
cute.
world. They can be. They like to draw people in, talk to them, give them platitudes, offer them a little bit of food. And when someone eats that food, they find themselves trapped in that phase of the world. That's why we don't eat food offered to us by
I'm
people
still here.
who are operating properly. You have your rations. I know it looks good, but for
It's
your
very good.
safety, I want you to not eat it, alright?
Well, I've already eaten it.
Just don't eat any more.
Oh.
Okay? Let me put it a different way. There's a monster in this town that has done this to these people. I'm pretty sure of it. And if you eat that, this ain't for certain, but I feel that if you eat that food, you're gonna end up like them under this monster and under the thrall of this monster. We have rations. We can use them. Okay?
All right.
Okay. So, unless anybody else wants to get anything done before the three of them come back,
Wait for the three of them to come back.
you see the three of them walking down the stairs. You didn't see Snow come in through the door, but that's not unusual for Snow, to be fair. You will join up
Anything?
again.
Absolutely nothing. Klein was sleeping and seemed as confused and unwell. It's the only one what seems to got a bit of memory of when he got here about a week ago. Had friends, no longer here, or potentially had friends. He's just as confused as some of the rest, but still a bit more about him.
There seem to be people just gone missing. That they've been plucked from the middle of what's been happening. Either Lavinia's parents or that couple's child.
I got a glimpse of our innkeeper's books. It seems like he had a fresh delivery a few days ago, which he has noted. I don't know if that makes any difference, but maybe we can see where that delivery comes from.
That is odd, but the ledgers in the town hall mention nothing past a week. Things seem strange. There ain't no consistency to it.
Not entirely sure we should sleep in the town tonight. I just don't know.
I almost expect that whether we sleep here or sleep elsewhere, come the morning, room 5 will be empty and just as clean as the others.
The gnome back at the church,
Sure.
he said specifically that after the toll at 8 o'clock, everyone goes to sleep.
Well,
And then
he
everyone
said
gets
that
woken
people
up.
like to go to sleep.
People like to go to sleep, okay. Then people like to be woken up at 8 in the morning.
Well, he said that's when they start ringing the bell again.
Okay.
Really don't like it.
Yes.
Something's
Well,
making
as I
me
said, if you
feel
don't like it, let's just go.
But if we can help these people, I would like to.
But we don't know how to help them, do we? You've got no spells that can do it, and I mean, I can shoot them, but that's not going to help them very much.
No, we need to find what's causing this. Shoot that instead.
And who's to
Well,
say
if you
that?
think it's the food, then let's just destroy all the food.
I'm not entirely sure, Gus, but when I say go, I mean just get out of the village, the town. I mean, not to leave these people like this. I mean, whatever is going on, it's something to do with the town, whether it's food, the water, staying here, whatever. But we can't help them if we stay here and then start losing our memories.
You find out when Klein came to this town?
He said about a week ago he turned up.
Alright.
Well, how about this then? We do an experiment. Why don't half of us stay here and the other half go away and come back in the morning and see if the first half would do Lanny?
That's a risk.
That is a singularly bad idea.
Well, I thought it was quite good.
We either all stay here or we all go.
I don't really feel comfortable splitting up.
No,
No.
and I don't feel comfortable staying here either.
Well, we've got no other bloody ideas, have we? At least my idea is something to do rather than walking around like headless chickens.
If he got a fresh delivery but the stalls have got rotten food, how does that work?
Well, why don't you ask him?
And that's where we'll leave it for tonight.
This storyline is driving me insane.
Sitting there waiting for Miette to tell me her theory about the people operating on their basic merits, because Melissa hasn't twigged that yet.
Oh, right, yeah, the conversation we had upstairs, not all the
Yeah.
ideas that the players having. Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you all for playing. That was wonderful. Well done. I enjoyed myself absolutely thoroughly there. That was really good fun.
I regret telling you about this creature because this
I
is
mean,
ringing bells in my
yeah,
mind
well,
as something I know
maybe
about.
it is, maybe it isn't. You know, you'll
Oh
have
God!
to wait and see.
And
But well done for
Debbie,
playing in character.
so I think campaign 1 was just every door for us, and then campaign 2, I think it was. It
I
took
can't
us.
find one for the bridge.
Campaign 1 was the bridge.
Campaign
Campaign
1
one was the bridge.
So
Basically,
we were.
I made a bridge across a river. It's a fairly fast-flowing river, so they figured that they had to use the bridge.
It was a deep ravine as well.
Yeah. And it took them forever to cross this bridge.
It
To
was
be
crap all
fair,
over the place.
you
Like
laced
3
that bridge with
I
traps,
did, yeah.
Oh,
and
so
you
it's
made
actually a trap bridge and not a I attacked gazebo situation.
Correct.
no. This was a trap. This was a bridge covered in traps and such that half of the floor of the bridge would fall out from you if you stood on the wrong spot. So I like to think
Nice.
you were.
Your feet and there were all sorts of, and then there were baddies hiding in towers that were shooting at us, and then there were razor discs that flew across the bridge and chopped you in half.
But it took us forever to actually decide that we're going to cross the bridge and
It
not
took
try
him
another
so
way.
long to go, you know what, we're going to try over the bridge. It was literally hours. It was so funny.
It was the same campaign where my ranger inspected the food that we were given for anything suspicious and rolled a natural 20 and was told everything was fine when it was not.
Magically.
So I knew better to not to try and analyse the food, because that didn't get me anywhere last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, that bridge, didn't Tone just lie down in the middle of it and have a little
Face down.
Yeah.
Snow angels. And then I found some dwarf porn.
You did, yes.
I think Melamar ended up with that.
Very probably. Malamar ended up with on the pond. But yes, so are there any answerable questions that you may have about tonight?
I like that clarification.
Did it's not answerable, so I'm not going to answer.
Well, you can ask. I just won't answer.
Yeah,
It
I feel like it was towards the end of the session where you cut the conversation off. Something just tweaked in my brain, and I don't know why. Did we miss something whilst coming into the village?
Of course we did.
Knowing Chaz, the baddie is a little girl.
Oh yeah, that occurred to me about the time I was asking, if she's still attached. And it's like, oh god, I have the evil hanging off my arm. I'm going to get eaten.
I was quite impressed with your
Get it
bravery of wandering off into a house by yourself with a little girl. That was impressive.
I was testing a theory.
Impressive or stupid? I'm not sure which.
Yes.
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 Very much yes. But the only sensible person there was Snow by sneaking about on the rooftops.
And throwing daggers at his party.
Yeah.
No, not at you. In front of you.
But for the roll of a dice at us.
I do want to check a timing thing. So 3 weeks since Vale and Dunnox left Dar. 2 weeks since this town has started going a bit doolally.
Probably.
Roughly, based on the ledgers.
So it's probably Vale that did it then.
It would be less than a week for Vale and Dunnox to make their way through this town if they did pass through here.
Correct.
To the forest. So they would have passed through, and then a few days later, this stuff would have started happening.
You'd think so, yeah.
Okay, cool.
But I do like your question about the guest book in the inn. That was inspired.
That was good.
Unfortunately, he didn't have one. But he's
Well, I did
one.
wonder if Vale and Dunnox would be in the book if there was a.
I figured
That's
you were
why
looking for sort of names and dates.
Yeah, that's why I asked about the description of Dunnox with the mayor.
Yeah. Okay, so let's let our good viewers get on with their lives. Thank you very much for watching. Please go check out all of the lovely people that we follow on Damage Bell. Too many to mention nowadays.
There's no role-playing gamers this Sunday.
Oh, no role-playing games this Sunday. So if you're free on a Sunday evening, which you are now, check out any of the other people that we follow. A new one that I found is Argy Barmies. He's quite fun. He seems to be quite amusing. So have a wonderful evening. Enjoy yourselves immensely. We will see you all back here for next Tuesday. Bye bye.